So, One Piece chapter 1172. This video is going to be, I hope, quicker than the other ones. But we start off with Bon Clay returning. And, I seen everybody talking about the thumbnail for the obvious reasons, right? We have two ducks, and one of them has a crown, the other one has a straw hat. The one with the straw hat is eating, and the one that's not eating is carrying like what looks like a paintbrush. Like he's trying to paint things black. I don't know. Like, hey, that's just where I'm going with that, right? He's painting stuff, right? Painting people. I don't know who this would be. Who do you think that would be? I don't know. But anyway, we keep going. The chapter starts off. I know a lot of people called it a recap chapter. I mean, there was some recap in it, I guess, because Gabon is reiterating the events to the crew, and he's laying out a plan. So we're gonna see what solid plan they're going with when they go up there. And we start getting directly into Gabon is just describing what each ability is, what the plan is up there, right? They have the kids. They're trying to kidnap 10 of them. The arrows are forcing the kids to go towards the boat, and Summers has the thorns around the kids, so you can't grab them or interrupt them because they'll hurt each other or you'll hurt yourself. And the nightmares are upstairs going crazy, running amok, making a problem for everybody, right? So yeah, like I was saying, the nightmares are defending and attacking the people from even attempting to do any of that, right? All while the library is it's on fire and all that. So and they even mention how it's ironic that they're just walking in a straight line, but they can't do anything. Like they're doing something so simple, but they can't stop them. And this being highlighted, whoever said this is showing you kind of how complex individual abilities can make things, right? And it's also the writer making the creative scenario, because he could have gave them any powers, but these are the powers he chose to give them, so this sort of circumstance could play out. And within the world, that means the characters are applying their abilities, like I said, in a complex way. So they're up there and they're talking about the immortality that they have, and as they're going up to the sun world, and when they get up there, they immediately see what the fuck is going on. And I feel like this close-up right here, this close-up could be an indicator that this might be Loki. This might be Loki, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like the fact that Loki has his tongue out, and then Loki, we seen him earlier as a giant monster walking around. Like it was a giant Loki. We still see the giant sun god, right? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't see the giant Loki, like the fake Loki or whatever, anywhere. We have a one-eyed monster, and they say the Great Eric. I don't know which one of these people would be the Great Eric. Maybe this is the Great Eric. It's a giant, right? Because Great Eric, I think the ship, the giant's ship is named the Great Eric too. I'll talk about that later. I have a screenshot of that. So I think this is the Great Eric, maybe. I don't know. But outside of that, we still see this right here still is the sun god, okay? But Loki isn't here. He's nowhere to be found. So I'm imagining, I think that this could be the other form Loki has. I don't know. That's just where I'm going with that. Anyway, so without trying to recap exactly the whole chapter, because I'm not going to do a recap on a recap, but the other giant Kashimo pulls up and he tells them exactly that Dorian Brogy's trying to kill Joru, and this is letting everybody know. This is letting the characters know what's going to happen and how it's showing how they're going to react to stuff, right? So now we know that they know what's happening and they're going to take action. Road ran off, so Road's probably going to have his own fight, but he's going to be there with the kids and be interacting with the crew that's also trying to help the kids and stop them from going overboard and walking off into the boat. So we have Zoro and the rest of the Straw Hats being split apart, and they're all getting into action now. So this panel right here. Right? I feel like this, I had to show the whole panel because maybe I haven't read enough manga, right? Maybe that's my fault. But I feel like I have not seen this way of showing multiple events going on in different places outside of just simply showing them in panels, right? He's using this big panel to show it all. And then each panel is like a speech bubble connecting to the previous panel, showing you where everybody is. And all the events are obviously happening simultaneously, right? All these happening simultaneously. Some people, you know, they read manga wrong, so they'll think, okay, this is happening, and then this happened, and then this. No. This is all happening at the same time. So we have the library on fire, and some people, I don't know who these people are. I forget. Somebody tell me if you feel like it, but I forget who these people are sitting outside the library. I know it's a couple of giants, right? They're sitting outside the library, and I think Somers is over there too, just watching, right? But then outside of that, we have the Straw Hat crew sitting here, and Jinbei mentions how Brook is gone. He got some idea in his head and ran off, even though I'm pretty sure he's bandaged up, right? Or did Gonko just knock him out and not bandage him up? I forget. But Brook is free, and he's running around apparently, right? Then we got Dory and Broggy going to chase Ja Rule, okay? They're going to Ja Rule. They're in the middle of this forest right here, walking over toward the village. Okay, I don't know how that's gonna work because they're down. They're in the lower fields. Like, they're gonna have to somehow climb up to this upper branch. I don't know how that's gonna work. They're gonna just jump up there, maybe fly. I don't know. We'll see. But they're trying to get up there. The kids are still walking along the branch over here. And Colin keeps telling them they're all warriors, but they're like, yo, we're not warriors, dude. He's the only warrior blood kid, right? And then, the rest of the crew with Ripley, it's the rescue team, okay? They're running for the kids. And Ja Rule, they want him to, retreat and fall back, but he's saying, I'm going to tell everybody the truth before I die. And he tells them the truth in the sense that, yeah, Loki's innocent. The world government and these demons are the ones who are responsible for Ja Rule's. I mean, our king Harroden, or my bad, Harold. Our King Harold is death, right? In the past, King Harold, the day King Harold died, Loki didn't do it, right? This is what he's telling them, and he kind of puts a twist on the story. He tells them that he fought and died against the demons, and Loki, carrying the rage of the nation on his back, went off to sea to try to get revenge for him, okay? And we go on to see everybody in Elbaf getting inspired, and they want to fight back. And now they're getting back, they're getting the second wind, because, a lot of them were, they fell, they were on the ground. And, this is like a side note, but that might be the Loki, clone thing right there. But anyway, they're all getting inspired, and his speech is telling them, listen, you think we're going to just sit down? Who do you think you are, right? We're not going to sit here and just take this shit. People are getting inspired, right? And side note again, I know people hate Gonko's design or the emu design, but that's because they're looking at this part and they're just ragging on it. I mean, it is kind of ridiculous, especially this panel is ridiculous, but at the same time, all of these outfits that they wear, this old school, these French, these uniforms or whatever the hell, I don't know what you would denote this to, but this upper half, it's a sweet design. It's cool. It's a cool design. You're letting the bottom half getting in the way, and I don't think the bottom half ruins it. I think all three of them, all these people right here, all three of them, they all have good designs. All three of these people right here. So, yeah, so the people of Elbaf are trying to rise up, and Usopp has this little moment of him really loving everything Ja Rule is saying, and Like I'll talk about that later. But as Ja Rule is giving his speech, he talks about how if the world is destined to be split in two, as the Harley prophecy suggests, then Elbaf shall be an enemy to the world government. Okay, a lot of people are confused about this now. They're trying to second guess their comprehension of the mural. Okay, let's go to the mural for a second. They're trying to second guess their comprehension of the mural because we see the first world, the second world, and the third world, right? What he means by the world being split in two, I am sure he is talking about if you draw a line in the middle right here, two sides fighting, the demons, the devils that he just spoke of, versus, and you see these celestial dragon type beings, right? God knights, most likely. Celestial dragons with swords and shit, right? But if you split this in half, it's the world versus the world, okay? It's the world versus the world. And like the mural says, people remembering the promised day is going to bring the world to its end. Okay, guiding the world to its end. The world is going to end because he's defeating the person who is the current world, like, quote unquote, the world right now. He's going to destroy that. He's going to kill Emu. They're going to defeat him. And it's going to create a new world, right? Brings a new morning, right? When the sun returns. So I think that he's just referring to that half. That's why he says, then Elbaf shall be an enemy to the world government. If the world is destined to be split in two, then we're going to be the world government's enemy. We're going to pick that side, right? I think that's what he's talking about, okay? So he's rejecting everything they're saying, okay? And I feel like this is needed, right? This is needed. I don't know how they're gonna deal with this. A lot of people, that just means a lot more people are gonna get themselves caught. If we're thinking about it, a lot more people are gonna get themselves caught. They're inspired. They're gonna try to fight, and they're just gonna get Dome reverse it anyway, right? And then Zoro has a plan. Zoro has a plan. So there's three things I want to talk about real quick. Zoro has a plan. He's pulling out the Enma. He's pulling out Enma. I think immediately, a lot of people are thinking, oh, Zoro might cut the floor and this and that. I thought that too, like Zoro might cut the floor. But I thought, hey, what if he uses Enma to like somehow absorb that energy, that haki that's on them? Because haki, it's like, it's really, like I've been saying, like it's your spirit, it's your willpower, right? If you run out of haki, you die. All living things have haki. Does that mean they're using the properties, like applying it to their weapons and all that? No, but everything has haki in them. This is your soul, your energy, your life force, right? Your spirit, your soul. So I think his Enma blade that absorbs haki, or Rio, right? It absorbs haki. It's a chance that he could absorb the haki that they have on them. I don't know. That could also be a key to how Zoro absorbs, like, I just wonder, will he start absorbing people's haki? If he can absorb haki with this blade, I need to see how that plays out. What if he gives them Enma? He hands them Enma, and then it starts absorbing their like life force, and they go back to normal. What if that's one way to do it? I don't know. But we got to see how that works. And then, yeah, that's Enma, right? You can see it. That's Enma. So I also took a screenshot of this, right? This moment right here. This is in the beginning of the Elbaf arc, okay? And the giant cat that was attacking Usopp, and Nami said maybe it's an illusion, and Usopp said, okay, I'll just stand here because illusions can't hurt me, and he ended up almost dying, right? He got fucking hit super hard. It was all played off like comedy, but he really almost got messed up, right? All three of these dudes took down the cat. And the cat didn't die. It had a devil fruit, right? The devil fruit turned the cat into a lion, if you don't remember. When they hit it with their triple attack, triple whip strike, twister, whatever the fuck, the Ifrit Jambe, Gear Fourth Gum Gum Punch, Elephant Punch, right? 3 style, all 3 swords, Black Dragon Rope, right? They hit the lion cat, and it's still not dead, okay? It pops up later, bandaged up and healthy. and it's good, right? So this enemy that they all hit with a super strong attack, not the strongest attack, but a super strong attack from our trio, right? Luffy also tells Usopp that he could have beaten it. He could have defeated it, okay? That's exactly what he said. He says, you could have beaten that cat lion, Usopp. It woke me up by eating me. I was freaking out. So he could have defeated that, apparently. So I just wanted to say that as a point toward Usopp, because as I started thinking more and more, I think Usopp will have some shine in this new, and in Elbaf. He will shine in Elbaf, I feel like, eventually. And I know it's been like getting played off, but he's gonna have some sort of moment because he's not super weak at this point with the things he can do and the tools he has, right? At least I don't see any reason for him to have super strong haki, or I mean, he did start working out. He was training like that so he could be stronger physically, right? But he's not stronger than Zoro physically, right? But he is stronger physically, and haki is a different story because we don't know how strong his haki is, or if he's been training that, or if he can just like start using it and it's already at a certain level because of the type of person he is, because of the type of spirit and soul he has, right? We don't know. So I just wanted to talk about that because I feel like there's still a chance that Usopp can do something, and even if it's not holding Ragnir or using Ragnir, Usopp, he's gonna do something, man. Okay. And then another side note I had with these screenshots I took was right here, right? The Great Ship Eric. So this is called the Great Ship Eric. And they said the same thing. Is that the Great Eric? Is that what he said? When they saw the monsters? I think that's what they said, right? But you get my point, right? They saw the monsters and they thought that the guy, one of those monsters was the Great Eric. I think he's talking about this. Because the Great Eric, like at first I thought he was talking about this because he said the Great Eric. That sounds like he's talking about a beast or something, right? But that's also, that's a title. I thought, okay, that's a title because I searched it up. There is no mythological lizard or serpent or creature named Eric, okay? So they're talking about a person. In Norse mythology, it's a man with red hair who was like putting in work, basically, okay? He's strong. He fought dragons. He did a lot of shit, okay? So I think they're talking about him. He might be a red ogre, a red, like, giant named the Great Eric, okay? And outside of that, there was another thing I had in the screenshots to take note of, right? Outside of the Great Eric, oh yeah, I had the murals. That's it. I had the murals. So the third world, I think, is just depicting the world being split in two because two sides are being drawn. It's the world versus whoever's on the world side, right? The world, like the humans, the people who live in the world versus whoever's on the world government side. Let me call the world government the world, right? Because that is the world. Rox said that's the world, right? So the world versus the people who live in it. There you go. The world versus the people who live in it are the two sides. The split that Ja Rule was talking about, and he chose that he's going to be against the world. Okay? So, I think I said everything I need to say in this chapter. Zoro might be using the blade to absorb haki, right? People don't like Gunko's design, but it's fine. It's cool, right? I think Usopp is really gonna boot up. Yeah, there's nothing else to say. This dragon, I think there's a higher chance of this dragon being Loki now, just because of what I said earlier. I don't know, like Harden looking at that dragon the way he did, you know what I'm saying? That kind of made me feel like he's like, I'm looking at Loki. I mean, but would he even know what Loki looks like in his devil fruit form? Right? Would he even know that? Who knows? And then the eyes aren't split like a serpent, right? He doesn't have the Loki eye, so maybe it's so far away we can't tell. Maybe the iris is split. Maybe it's a line going this way. We can't tell. It's so far away, right? But yeah, man, I feel like this is a good chapter. All right, it's a break. kind of not a break. It's like it's a slower one. Not a break. It's a slower one. So we're going to see what happens after this. If I could think of anything else to add, I'll put it in the comments like always. But I think for now, I am done. Okay. And there's Dory and Bragi below, or the army of demons below Gunko, right? Yep. So I think I'm out. I'll see y'all around.